Hey y'all, thank you for tuning in to Wonderfully Me yet again. I greatly appreciate your presence. It is indeed a present to me. Yes, indeed it is. So, if this is your first time here, I want to say welcome. You are more than welcome here. And if indeed you are returning, welcome back, fam. I'm so glad to see you again. You know you my fave. Absolutely. You are my favorite. Okay. We shouldn't have favorites in family, but I just do. And it's you. Please and thank you. Anywho, today I wanted to talk to you about empowering solo travelers I have encountered. And they happen to be, you know what? I'm going to make it a series. I'm going to make it a series because I feel like in order to do them justice, I need to discuss one person at a time. So this is going to be part one of my encounters with empowering solo female travelers. How about that? Encounters with empowering solo female travelers. Yes, indeed. Okay. So let's get started. I'm like, let me get comfortable. Let me get comfortable and just talk to you for a moment. So I'm going to start with, because I've met some amazing travelers, but I'm going to start with somebody who is going to probably be classified as one of the youngest travelers, solo travelers that I met. And I think, I'm not, you know what? There were a couple who were in this range. So I'm not sure if she was actually the youngest, but this was the first young traveler that I met who impacted me greatly. The first one. So I was in Peru. So I had, okay, how I got to Peru, just a quick story. I was in Europe, and while I was in Portugal, I stayed at a hostel in Porto, Portugal, where I met a young man originally from Trinidad and Tobago, but he was going to school in the Netherlands. And I lovingly call him my travel guru. And oddly enough, not oddly, but he has been to many countries and done many things. He's just amazing. He works as a television producer in Trinidad right now, and he does a travel segment and where he goes places and has these different experiences, and he's so funny and he's just like wonderful. But this was my travel guru who I met. We basically formed this fast friendship, and yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to do a whole segment on him. But anyway, during the course of our interaction, we became fast friends, and he was doing a an externship in Peru. Mentioned that he had this friend who was a social worker who was and a traveler, and blah 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 blah. And I ended up getting a little interview for a volunteer situation, and there I went to Peru. So during the time that I was there, I met probably, because I was there, I said I was going to come for 3 months, ended up staying for 8, but I was there and probably encountered well over 100 young people, well over 100, and but the vast majority were college age, um, and just a bit older. So, so the vast majority were probably between 20, 21, 20. Okay, let's say 20. Let's say 20 and 28. Yeah, the vast majority. There were a couple of couples who were older, a little bit older and stuff that I met, and wonderful or whatever. But I didn't, because of what I was doing, I didn't necessarily see everybody every day, and this wasn't a person who was like a roommate or anything. I think she stayed in a different, yeah, now that I think about it, a different residence than I stayed in. So I didn't have like a lot of interaction with her initially. But she was always like so pleasant and just like upbeat about everything. So you know she was just another person, just a regular person. So typically on weekends we would go on these little side trips, short trips, like usually, like I said, for a weekend or whatever. And this particular weekend we decide that we're going to go to uh why am I having a brain fart in this moment? Mantra? Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm gonna have to come back to the place. I can't think of the name of it. It's escaping me at this second. But anyway, we decided we wanted to go on this weekend trip, and it was like a girls' trip. And the thing is, I think I had maybe one fairly close friend on this trip. The vast majority of these young ladies were German, and like I said, they were most of them between 2028 or whatever. I'm well over that, but I get along with everyone, and it's so wonderful. But this young lady is indeed the youngest on the trip. I'm just going to give her initial T. And when I tell you that we all sat and we got one room, because I think there were 5 or 6 of us, and we got one. I think we had a whole room of with bunk beds in this like hostel, but we had the whole room to ourselves. And I remember we were sitting around and talking. I was sitting on the bed, and we just got into some like really deep conversations, about all different kinds of life experiences or whatever. And I'm amazed at the things that they had done, the things they had experienced, and whatever. And I was like, oh, and I think it was the typical like response of a person who was like of a different generation, like listening to younger people going, oh, okay, because, we didn't have, growing up, we didn't have a lot of role models of women who were like, just bad, doing a thing. Like don't get me wrong. There's always a few that kind of, do it. But usually we look at them with the, like, well, should you have been doing that? Or, kind of sideways. But anyway, these young ladies were just so forthcoming, just telling about everything. I'm talking about they touched on everything. Trust me, everything. And they were amazed when I was like, no, never done that. No, never experienced that. What? You saw what? And who did what? And so said what? And I mean, it was like that, like the entire time. And I was so tickled. I just thought it was hilarious. So, it's still bothering me that I can't think of the name of this place. So, it's this particular place that we're going to is like a beach place, and it's like a party place. It's all about the fun, and everybody's gonna go out and be drinking and carrying on and doing whatever. And I do that to a little, at that point I was doing it a little bit more. I'm surely not doing it like that now, but I was still out there. I was still, doing my thing or whatever, so I could kind of hang with everybody, and but I was so set in my own ways that there's like things like nah, I'm not doing that, or I ain't going there, or yeah, I'll see y'all later, I'm going back to the room, kind of thing. That's just who I am. And this young lady, I watched her over the course of this weekend navigate this place and all of the different activities that we did, restaurants and social situations. And I was just like amazed, like mouth open. And she knew it because we talked about it later. And I just said, like, my goodness, this young lady was 17 years old, from Germany, spoke fluent English, like not a problem at all. But the thing that got me is that there was no I can't in her vocabulary. There was no like I'm afraid, or if I feel any fear, I'm still gonna do it because I want to. I'm ready to have this experience, and I'm not letting anything get in that way. And I'm going to count you as friend until you give me a reason to call you foe. This young lady like blew my mind. The wisdom she had at 17. The wisdom she had at 17. I'm telling you, definitely within that group of people who were 21 to 28-ish, she was like a head above them. She was so just articulate, and when I'm saying articulate, I'm talking about her ability to convey to others what is on these. What is on these glasses? But her ability to convey to others her experiences, her expectations. Like, she had thought about things that I'm telling you that was just making people go, no, I didn't. I never thought about that. Or no, I've never done that. Or, oh, I mean, I'm telling you, the oohs and the ahs that came from everybody in her presence. And I'm happy to say that we still, come Christmas or birthdays or whatever on Facebook, we're still Facebook friends. And I'll say, hey, well, how you doing or whatever. And the thing is that what she tells me is like that I had this great impact on her, but I want the world to know that she had this impact on me. So just keep in mind that just because somebody is younger than you doesn't mean that they don't have a lot to teach you about life and about the world and even about yourself. Because it made me like sit back and think like what in the world am I so afraid of? When I'm telling you, this girl was not afraid. She spoke good Spanish, not fluent Spanish, but good Spanish. And so being in Peru, obviously that's going to be really helpful. Okay. But she was out there like with the locals in the local hangout spots. She had friends that were outside of these tourists and travelers. She had made friends. I want to say she was there for at least a month. In this location we were. She was there for at least a month, maybe longer. I can't recall exactly. But when I tell you that she knew neighbors, I'm telling you, she knew these folks well. Like, she was like, they were inviting her over for dinner, and oh, my family is having this get together, or there's a holiday coming up. Oh, we're traveling to this place. Please come. This is how everybody viewed her. She just was remarkable. And I am shouting out this young lady because, like I said, if she was doing it afraid, but she had the best disposition. She just was so open. And she wasn't like naive. I just want to be so clear. She wasn't naive about the world. Like, she knew that evil, like bad stuff happens everywhere and every day. And she was so well aware of that. And yet, in spite of it all, she was still out there doing her thing. She was out there meeting people and learning, getting the most she could out of this experience she was having. I'm telling you, this young lady was the bomb diggity. Oh, yo, shout out to T. Shout out to T. And I did, and I'm happy to say that I did make it to Germany. I didn't get to see her when I was in Germany. Germany is a big place, and I was like in Bavaria, so like closer to like the Austrian border. But I did make it to Berlin once. I can't remember what part she was from. And I met a lot of Germans. But yeah, T, you are everything. And I know there's no doubt in my mind that T is doing big things right now. There's no doubt in my mind, because this is how this person was. Like, you just know when you're just witnessing greatness. And she was great. Not good, not better. She was great. So I know that wherever she is in the world, she's doing big things. This, I have no doubt, none. Zip zero. Yep. So anyway, this is the first in my inspiring, empowering travel stories that I'm going to come to. I'm like, I feel like I need to try to Google this doggone name of this doggone town. It's just it's bothering me. It's very close to the border. It's very close to the border of Ecuador and Peru. Beach. party towns. Look, I'm over here having to try to see if I can find it. Okay, let's see if it Mancora. That's what it's called. Like it was like I had the man in my head, but I couldn't. I was like Manta. No, that's in Ecuador. That's not right. I was like Montanita. No, that's in Ecuador. I couldn't think of it, but it's called Mancora. Mancora. So if you're looking for a good time in Peru and you maybe are thinking of doing a trip between somewhere in Peru all the way up into Ecuador, this is perfect because it's like easy stop where you can go have fun, do, be wild, be crazy or whatever. It's like a gazillion hostels, not a gazillion, but it's a lot. It's enough. And it's a party place. So Mancora, yes. And I have another Mancora story that I will tell. It's not empowering. It's kind of funny. So I will tell that one too. I have so many travel stories that I want to share. Anyway, to do the business of YouTube. If you have gotten this far and you have not liked this video, ¿por qué? Why? As my mother would say, why is a crooked letter that won't straighten out? And I would always be like, I was like, what in the world? But anywho, please do like this video, share this video with others. Be sure to comment below because why not? I want to hear from you. Of course I do. And the last thing, once we do the like, the comment, the share, is subscribe. Why not? If you haven't, it's free 99. And it helps me so much. It helps me when you do these things because it lets the good old algorithm, who is Al anyway, right? But anywho, it lets the algorithm know that people are interested in hearing what I have to say. And I hope that that's the case. Well, I've gotten that business out the way. I always like to say, do good and be better. I used to say be good, do good, and be good, but which was real easy to roll off the tongue. But I want you to do good and be better. Be a better version of yourself today than you were yesterday, and an even better version tomorrow. Yes, indeed. Okay. And what else? No, not much else. I just want to reiterate that it always means the world to me that I get to share my world with you. And until next time, ciao for now.